Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Darnell Weeks show. And I'm here with a legend today. You know him as the legendary Mike Barnes from the Karate Kid franchise, and daytime fans know him as Deacon Sharpe. Please welcome the iconic Mr. Sean Kanan.
Thank you,
How
Darnell.
are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to be here with you. Thanks for having me.
Same here. Thank you for agreeing to do this.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
so excited. I want to ask you, I want to start off this interview by saying, before the world recognized you as Deacon Sharpe or Mike Barnes, what was your life like? What specific moment inspired you to pursue acting?
Well, I grew up in a small Western Pennsylvania town, and I think that, like a lot of people, when you grow up in a small town, you're curious to see what lies beyond your immediate horizon. I was always looking for a way to express myself, and acting seemed like a really great fit. Um, I went to college. I started at Boston University. I was studying political science, and I took my first acting class while I was there. And it really confirmed for me that this is what I wanted to do. Uh, Transferred out to UCLA to finish my degree in 1987. And that's when I started pursuing my acting career in earnest. And in about a year or so after that, I got the role in Karate Kid 3 and things started moving.
Wow. How did that come about exactly, getting that role? Tell us.
Well, my martial arts teacher, who's since passed away, his name is Sensei Fumio Demura, was
Mhm.
Pat Morita's stunt double.
Wow.
And he knew that I wanted to pursue a career in acting, and he actually let me know that there was going to be an open call for the new bad guy for the Karate Kid 3, and gave me the information, and I showed up at the open call with thousands of other people, and ultimately wound up getting the role.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely a good movie, although I didn't like you in the movie. I wanted Daniel LaRusso to beat you up, you know. I said, get this guy. I don't like him. You did a good job at that.
Thank you. I
You are
appreciate
very
that.
good at playing the bad guy. So, um,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
but in the industry, they often emphasize going to the big screen, you know. But what made you go to the small screen? You know, meaning what made you pursue soap operas? Why not movies? Is there a reason for that?
Well, I never really intended on getting involved in soaps. I auditioned for the role of AJ Quartermain on General Hospital, and I
Hmm.
got that role, and that got me quite a bit of notoriety in the soap world. Um, I've continued to do films. I've done probably 25 films. Just finished one called Body Man that my wife directed. She and I wrote and produced it, and it'll be coming out later this year. We just signed a deal for that. So I've steadily done films while I've also simultaneously worked in daytime. Um, I don't know. It's kind of like that quote that says, man makes plans and God laughs. I
Very
mean,
true.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've been really blessed to work more or less consistently since I started acting. And, I love working on The Bold and the Beautiful. It's the most watched daytime show in the world. It's seen in dozens and dozens of countries. And it's exposed me to a lot of different audiences all over the world, as has Cobra Kai. And, I'm still doing films. I'm going to be starting a film in July, which is another film that I wrote that my wife's going to be directing under our company Flip Creative.
Okay.
So I try and keep my fingers in a lot of different pies.
Is that a daytime Emmy that I see behind you? What is that there? Is that
That is indeed an Emmy, yes.
okay? And when did you win that?
I won that in 1920 or in 2020 and 1922, 2022
Okay.
for executive producing and creating a show called Studio City.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that in my research. All right. So good for you. You deserve it.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you.
the next thing I want to talk to you about is the storyline with Brooke and Bridget. That was one of
Mhm.
the most controversial storylines. It was the summer of 2002. And,
Yeah.
that's when I had started watching the show and I was introduced to your character. So basically, what I want to know is that what was the creative weight of carrying that narrative? Um,
So for those people that don't know, the storyline was that I wound up getting my mother-in-law pregnant, and she had a child.
mhm.
Definitely um, soap opera drama at its best, right? Um, it was a controversial storyline. It was a lot of fun. It was exciting. I had the opportunity to work with two phenomenal actresses, Jennifer Finnegan and Catherine Kelly Lang. Um, and when I first came on the show, Deacon was a very, very morally conflicted guy. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
One might even say a bad guy. But I've now had a huge redemption arc, and Deacon is now, I would say, a pretty good guy. Um, but it was a lot of fun playing it, and it got a lot of attention. And that's one of the things I love about working in daytime. You never know what's going to happen next. You get the script, and you could be a good guy one minute, and you're kind of playing the bad guy the next minute, and it keeps it exciting.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Outside of The Bold and the Beautiful, you're known for the role of Mike Barnes in the
Mhm.
Karate Kid franchise, and you returned to the franchise in September of 2022. What does it mean for you as an actor to be part of this legacy? Tell us about that.
Wow, it's pretty amazing to be part of a universe, the Karate Kid universe, that has really become part of the tapestry of film.
Mhm.
You don't, as an actor, you rarely get the opportunity to reprise a role 35 years later,
Yeah.
and let alone have the opportunity to do it on the number one show in the world. And so I was incredibly flattered and honored and privileged to have the opportunity to return and be a part of, the show that became an international phenomenon.
And who are some of your favorite people to work with from the franchise, whether it be past or modern? Who did you enjoy working with?
Well, I really worked well with, I think, all of them. I mean, each of the different actors um, has something terrific that I really personally enjoyed working opposite of. Ralph Macchio and Billy Zabka, Yuji Okamoto. Obviously, I had the opportunity to work with the late great Pat Morita,
Yeah.
um, Martin Cove, Thomas Ian Griffith. I really was very blessed to have the opportunity to work with such terrific actors, and also really great people. The experience of going back to Cobra Kai was one of the most fun professional experiences that I've ever had.
Yeah. You also are a martial artist in real life, right?
I am, yeah, I've studied martial arts off and on since I was probably 15 years old.
Yeah. So, what philosophies from your particular style do you apply to your everyday life?
That's a really good question. Um, well, if you're familiar with my books, The Way of the Cobra series, Cobra is an acronym formed from the words
Hmm.
character, optimization, balance, respect, and abundance. And two of the biggest um, pillars of martial arts are character and balance. Mr. Miyagi taught a lot about balance to Daniel, and it's true. To have a successful life, you have to have a life that's balanced. I think that the other core elements of martial arts are honor and self-discipline and humility and courage, and they're all things that I aspire to in my life and try and do my best to embody. And martial arts has been a very critical part of my life. It's permeated everything that I do, from acting to my relationships. And so I'm very blessed that at a young age, I was introduced to karate.
How did you get into karate?
So, when I was a kid, I was bullied a lot. And as I got a little older, um, I just, my heroes were Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. And, I loved Saturday Kung Fu Theater. And,
Hmm.
I found a school in my hometown, and, walked in the dojo, and, it was really very life-changing for me. It gave me some very much needed discipline as a kind of wild young teenage kid. And again, it taught me a lot of the concepts that I've tried to integrate into my life. A dojo is very much like a family. You feel a sense of esprit de corps and belonging, and you learn to work with others, and it just fulfilled a lot of things inside of me that I was looking for.
You're a real martial artist, but there are also actors out there that act and do martial arts. Like you've got Bruce Lee, the late Bruce Lee. You've got Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal. Are there any one of those people that you would have liked to have worked with? Who would you like to do a movie
Well,
with if you could change things in an alternate timeline, maybe?
geez, I don't know. I think it would have been great to work with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
I did ultimately have the opportunity to work with Chuck Norris, which was a real bucket list moment when I was a guest star on Walker, Texas Ranger, and got to do a big fight scene with Chuck. And he's just a phenomenal human being. Such an honor to work with him. So kind and welcoming and nice. And, the guy's a living legend, obviously. But he truly embodies the very best precepts of martial arts. And he certainly has been someone that I've looked up to and continue to.
Yeah. It's just such a pleasure sitting here talking with you. Thank you again for being on here.
It's my pleasure.
I really mean that. When I first got introduced to Deacon Sharpe, I wasn't crazy about the character, um,
Well, I understand that.
but the person, you, Sean Kanan, is somebody I've wanted to meet since 2003.
Oh,
I said
thank you. I'm flattered.
I said I really like this guy. So I guess
Yeah,
I would
thank
ask
you.
you next. Deacon has basically worked to establish this redemption arc. He's got his own restaurant now. And
Mhm.
so I would have to ask you, without putting you in the hot seat, why would Deacon mess all that up now? Because you're in one of the hottest storylines right now, Mr. Kanan. Please tell everybody, why would Deacon destroy what he's worked so hard to build?
Well, first of all, you got to remember, I get the scripts from the writers, and my job is to portray what's on the script.
Hmm.
I don't have a whole lot of say so when it comes to the direction of where my character goes. Um, I think that Deacon has experienced a tremendous amount of personal growth, and I think also that Taylor has awoken something in him where he
Hmm.
has really been able to finally put to rest that feeling of not being good enough, of always being on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Um, Deacon's always butted up against the foresters who are wealthy and educated and powerful. And, Deacon comes from the streets, and he was in prison. And, although he's not necessarily book smart, he's got a lot of street smarts, and there's
Yeah.
there's different kinds of smarts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think he's always carried with him this feeling of being less than. And if a woman like Taylor, who is so accomplished and has so many wonderful qualities, sees the value in Deacon. It's allowed him to start to see it in himself, and that's a very new feeling for him, and it's exhilarating.
Because when I was writing these questions, I said to myself, I said, I really want to ask him to analyze Deacon. I mean, what do you think is going on with Deacon? Like, because you're a martial artist, so you have all these philosophies and things. I know you probably analyze a lot of things. And so tell me and tell the audience what you think is going on with Deacon. And more importantly, if you could talk to Deacon, if you could be two separate people, if it could be Sean Kanan and Deacon Sharpe, what would you say to Deacon?
Well, I mean, listen, I'm certainly not a fan of infidelity, and I think when you make a commitment to somebody, you make a commitment. So I would urge Deacon that if he wants to pursue this relationship with Taylor, then he has to do the right thing and bring his relationship with Sheila to a conclusion, not be behaving in a way that is not how somebody with integrity and character behaves. I certainly don't support having an affair. But as we all know, conflict and things like that are what makes soap operas interesting. So,
Mm-hmm. And what would you say is wrong with him? What's causing him to act this way? Is there some kind of psychological
well, yeah, I think
um
I think that Taylor has Taylor's changed the way that Deacon looks at himself. He's been able to talk to her in a very honest way, and shed a lot of his armor and expose his vulnerability and not feel judged.
yeah.
And I don't think they intended on this happening, but they both met each other at a point in their lives when each other provides what the other needs. And all I can say is, I guess the heart wants what it wants.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I definitely hope that he gets his head on straight, and I hope that he doesn't throw away this thing that he's got going with Hope and with his grandkids. Because I'm like, why would this guy do this?
Well, you got to
I mean,
realize, though, Hope and Deke have been very supportive of this relationship with
yeah,
Taylor, and in some instances, really pushing him towards it. So I don't know that that is necessarily in immediate jeopardy,
yeah,
but it ain't going to be good when Sheila finds out.
yeah. I know
So,
that. Oh my goodness, I think he's asking for it. But
right?
you said that you have an acting dojo. Tell us about that. What is an acting dojo? What is
Well,
that?
I've been an acting teacher for quite some time now. I absolutely love working with actors, and I have an ongoing monthly class called the Acting Dojo,
Hmm.
and I do it over Zoom. And the next one is going to be March 22nd from 11 to 2 Pacific time. And
Okay.
if people want to find out more, sign up. They can go to actingdojo.com, and it is an incredibly effective and powerful seminar about acting, technique, strategies, and then the business of acting, because it is called show business, and
Yeah.
as important as being a proficient and interesting and dynamic actor is, you also have to understand how the business works. And as an Emmy winning producer and Emmy nominated actor, I have a very unique perspective because I work on both sides of the camera, and I know what it takes to work in front of the camera, and I know what the people behind the camera are looking for when it comes to hiring someone.
Okay. And you said you have a movie coming out. Is that correct?
I do. We just completed it, just came out of post production, and it's now with our sales agent. And we are entertaining different offers right now. It's called Body Man. And my wife Michelle directed it. She and I wrote and produced it under our company Flip Creative Media. And I'm very excited about it. It's a female-driven action film set against the backdrop of the human trafficking and fentanyl crisis, and it unfolds during the California senatorial race, and I play the incumbent Senator Henry Whitaker.
Okay, and do you do any martial arts in the film?
No, I don't have to do any fighting in this film, so
Really?
that's kind of well. Sorry, I'm going to be doing some in the next film.
Okay, what's the next one called?
The next one is called Final Judgment,
Okay.
and it's a terrific action film, kind of in the vein of Death Wish.
Okay, I'm gonna be looking out for that. So,
Okay.
do you have anything else that you want to promote or discuss?
No, I don't. That's about it. I hope people will check out the Acting Dojo. If you are
Hmm.
interested in acting, this is a tremendous opportunity to sit down with me. You'll have the opportunity to ask questions. And, if you aren't an actor, there's also a lot of great stuff. I have so many people that are attorneys and business people that take my course because a lot of what I teach can be uh, transmitted to different areas of your life.
Yeah. Okay, well it sounds good. Is there anything else? Like what can the fans of B&B look forward to? What's coming up without giving anything away?
Well, I can't give anything away, but I think there's going to be some very big changes happening for Deacon very soon. I'm thinking in the business world, there's going to be
I
some
really
unique opportunities opening up.
I really hope that he makes smarter decisions because
You and me both.
I really don't want to see anything happen to this guy. And
No, me either.
while I have you, sir, why would he push his daughter back to Liam? Liam is terrible. He's a
Oh,
terrible person.
I think Deacon has a real soft spot for Liam.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
you know, uh, ultimately, I think Deacon just wants what any father wants, which is for his daughter to be happy. And if that's going to be with Liam, then I think Deacon will support it.
And one thing that I want to say before we wrap up is that I think that you are one of the most professional actors that I've interviewed, and I
Thank
want to
you.
commend you. You've been nothing but professional since we started talking. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for the respect that you've shown me.
Oh,
I'm
my
an up
pleasure.
and coming podcaster. I hope to become an actual journalist, and I want to thank you for treating me as such. Thank you so much.
I wish you all the best with your career, and I'm looking forward to when this interview comes out. And
And and
if
thank you.
if I could ever be of any other help to you, you know how to get a hold of me.
Yes, I do, and thank you. And one
All
more
right,
thing
pal.
I want to say to you is that I was on Twitter one day,
Hmm.
and somebody had commented about Deacon, and you told the person, you said Deacon loves his daughter. And I love how you took ownership of the character because
Yeah,
that is your character. And you were saying right away, I want to let you know right now, Deacon loves his daughter. So
yeah.
I love the
Thank
fact
you.
that you did that and that you took ownership of that. You know,
Thank you. Thank you
if
very much.
anybody was speculating about whether or not he loves his daughter, I like how you put the stamp on it and say, I'm going to tell you right now, he loves his daughter. So
Yeah, that's that relationship is one of the central relationships in Deacon's life. Maybe even the most important one.
yeah. Well, with that being said, sir, I want to thank you so much for being on my show.
All right, my friend. You
It's
take
been a
care of yourself.
pleasure.
I'm wishing you all the best.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Everyone, please give it up for Mr. Sean Kanan. Mr. Kanan, thank you for being on the Darnell Week Show. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure, buddy. Take care.
All right. Talk to you later. If you have any questions about the show or you would like to be booked as a guest on the show, you can email me at darnellweekshow@gmail.com. Once again, that's darnellweekshow@gmail.com. Thank you.